Well, the service that I received from DCS was they sent me to a treatment center at one time, and it was a 30-day treatment center. And like I said, that was a part of learning things in there, seeing what I can use to help myself to do better, and it helped. I had a great life as a child. I was raised by two great parents, but I strayed off to the side. I started to try drugs. And I first tried marijuana, and from there I went to cocaine. And that was the biggest mistake of my life because I've never heard of addiction, but I got addicted to it. And once I was addicted, I found myself involved in stuff that I would normally be involved in. And that went on for years, a lot of years. I found myself, I was married at first, and then, I was treating my family bad for taking care of them because I threw away all my money. And then from there, it was something in me that wasn't me. It was like I was living for somebody else or something else, And as it started, I kept telling myself, this ain't me. What am I doing? And it made me feel so bad that I started to try to commit suicide. I started cutting myself, because it was like something was in me that wasn't me, And like I said, it went on for years, and I ended up losing a wife and children. Well, the way I ended up on probation was I got a drug charge at first, and then it went from there. It just kept going and going. I got involved with drugs. I liked the fast life. I wanted to try the fast life. And once I tried it, it was like unstoppable. I couldn't stop it. I enjoyed it so much, But it was bad. I ended up on drug cocaine. And cocaine took me for a spiral in my life that I never thought I would do, I ended up hurting all my family members, my friends that knew me. They couldn't believe it was me. That can't be you. You didn't never do nothing. You was always a good person. But sometimes trying things can be a bad idea. I started to hurt people for my family, spending all my money, ending up out here in the streets, living that life. That's not a life you want to live. Anybody can get better, but you gotta want it, And there's things you gotta leave behind sometimes. You don't want to leave behind. Friends, and really to me, they are not friends. Because if I was straight, they wouldn't be with me. But as long as I was doing what they liked, then they was there. I ended up here, I got on probation, didn't really know what probation was, but I ended up on probation, and each time I would go with small things, I would get more and more probation, And then something happened to a friend of mine that used to be there for me. I was in a treatment center, and I wanted to leave here because I was so familiar with the area and people that sold drugs. And every time they see me, if I didn't go to them, they was coming to me, asking me to buy drugs. And when I got into this 30-day treatment center, my mom was coming. I told her I wanted to leave town, and she said she was going to come see me before I leave. I had seen my kids in probably a year or 2 years. And then my mom called me and said, I'm not coming. Your kids want to see you before you leave. And from there, like I said, it was little things, They want to see me, bad as I've been, and they want to see me. But they did. They came and see me. My daughters came and see me. We had a talk. And I told them what I wanted to do. And they supported me 100%. I told them what my plan was, and they, I told them that I was sorry for how I treated them. Wasn't a father, that's the thing. And they wanted to see me better. So they gave me the money to go to Atlanta. And I went to Atlanta. I stayed there. Things was going good for one while. I was off of drugs. But then it's like come back. I started using again. And it started back that spiral. It's like a big circle. You start from the middle, you end up on the outside. But then for it over with, you back in the middle again. So I went through that number of years there. But I was going through, every time I go through it, I would go through treatment centers, trying to find help, trying to find what tools I could use to be better. And each time I went, I found tools. I seen people that was in there with me, they may go 2-3 weeks, no sooner they get their hand on some money, back to drugs. And I kept telling myself, this ain't gonna be me. I'm gonna make it through. I'm gonna complete this. And I did. I completed this. I stopped using. And I went doing things positive. I would go to church. I would go for walks. I was doing all this alone. And that's what I felt like in a way, alone. But I knew this walk wasn't gonna be wasted. And I did. I kept going, getting better. I started surrounding myself around positive people, positive things. But for its using again, I've never felt so confident that I am now. I've been so many years, and I've seen people that stop for 7, 8 years, 10 years, and go back. But I never felt it because my life has changed too much. It's not only about me, but it's about the people that I love. My family, my friends that know they glad to be around. They sometimes talk about, I remember when you were out there, I can't believe that was you. I couldn't either. But now I can face life, Whatever life comes, I'm gonna face it head on, without drugs. Even if it felt like I gotta know if I lose my family? What about if I lose my friend? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna still face life without drugs, because nothing was bad as using. Nothing is that bad. And like I said, one of the best positive things, stay away from around things that you used around or people you used around. To me, they wasn't friends, they were just drug friends. I've seen people that, get involved in that when you're in jail. Nobody come see you. Nobody write you. Nobody nothing. But guess what? Them the first faces you see when you get out. Oh man, where you been? Come on, let's get this in. Let's do this. No. Well, the service that I received from DCS was they sent me to a treatment center one time, and it was a 30-day treatment center. And like I said, that was a part of learning things in there, seeing what I can use to help myself to do better. And it helped. I can say over the years, everything I did helped, because with everything I did, I always take something from it that I could use. But I hope I can, set something to help somebody out there. This is a thing that involves your life. It involves your life, and people that love you. If you want to change your life, you can change it. But it's got to be something you want to do. And one thing I learned about drugs, what you got to learn, you got to stay away from people, places, and things. Because people that we use around, places is places that we use, and things and situations that we go through, And sometimes it gets so bad where, it got with me, where you start to use drugs because you think of, if they had to make me mad, I wouldn't use. You want to blame people for what you do, and that's what I end up doing a lot of time. But it took me a lot of years to get where I'm at today. Today I can thank God that I'm free of drugs. For me, God worked. For some people, it may be a treatment center. But whatever it is that worked for you, I pray that you would do it because your life is at stake. I've seen people die from it. People I grew up with didn't even make it my age. You know, I'm 68 years old, and thank God I'm still in good health, you know. But the damage I done, I went back and tried to apologize to some of the people, you know, because I know I hurt them. I didn't mean to, you know. But addiction is a crazy thing. It's something that takes completely over you. You know, you ain't yourself once you start using. I just knew it wasn't me. And I kept fighting and kept praying because I had a praying mother and father. And they told me, you know, just keep praying, keep praying. And I was crying sometimes, telling them, it ain't working. This ain't working, you know, but I would never quit. And I kept doing it and doing it. And things started to happen to me in my life. I went to prison, you know, because I was doing something I shouldn't have, but it wasn't me. It was the drug that had me. And today I'm suffering in a way from some of that stuff. But I believe I'm gonna make it through it. That's one thing. I'm positive about that. I'm not a quitter. I know how to keep fighting, you know, for what I want. Today I have my kids back. My kids think, you know, I'm the biggest thing in the world. My sisters and brothers, they can't believe it. And then, like I said, it's been over 10 years that I've been clean. I just, you know, I have to get all the thanks to the God I know that put me here, you know. But I pray for somebody. Help. Find you some help somewhere. Well, some of the tools I've learned, like I said, was people, places, and things. And not only that, you talk to some of the problems that you've had even before you start using, that you didn't realize you had, you know. There was so many problems that I didn't realize I had. The best advice I can give you, you gotta learn to do it for yourself. It's not about family, friends. You gotta do it. It's something you gotta do. You take hold. You know, it's a struggle because sometimes you gotta pick up jobs that don't pay that much, but it's a start. You gotta start somewhere, you know. It'll get better, but you gotta make it better. If you had to train for a job, then train for it. Believe me, any life is better than continue to use. Right now, my future, I love it because my future involves my family, my friends, just doing the right things. I just want to continue to do the right thing. And it's not like I even think about the wrong thing. I know it's out there, but I got a choice, and I realize that. And I use it to my advantage.